Good morning. Welcome to the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners Agenda Setting Work Session. It's Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, 9:04 a.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. Vice Chair Commissioner Wayne Fournier, Commissioner Emily Klaus in the boardroom, Commissioners Carolina Mejia, Commissioner Gary Edwards participating virtually. County Manager Leonard Hernandez and Assistant County Managers Robin Campbell and Rob Gelder in the boardroom. Public virtual attendance available on the Thurston County YouTube channel. We have a 3-hour session this morning to review 2 draft agendas for this afternoon's meeting and next Tuesday's meeting. First review of that, second review of this afternoon's meeting. We have executive session and standing items. We will take a break probably around halfway through. First up is to review the draft agenda for the meeting this afternoon. So let's start with that. We'll call that meeting to order at 2 p.m. Commissioner Edwards to lead Pledge of Allegiance, approval of the agenda, and then a presentation for Thurston County Fair Weekend Proclamation. Clerk of the Board, are we going to have any speakers regarding that?
Yes, Thomasina, the Fair Manager, along with some Fair Board members and a couple of Fair participants will be here to accept the proclamation.
Okay, and Fair kicks off tomorrow?
Yes.
Any questions on Fair Proclamation?
No, but Chair, I saw our county road sign that said "Visit the Fair." That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Got my kids excited. So.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, great. Opportunity for the public to address the board after that. County Manager update.
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay. We have consent agenda items 3A through 3D. 3A is auditor item, Accessible Communities Advisory Committee grant.
Chair, my apologies. Before we jump in, I believe the clerk had some updates that she wanted to go over.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll just review go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Today's agenda, our item 3A, the auditor's Accessible Communities Advisory Committee grant. Item 5B includes the contract number now.
Yep, that was requested by a board member. Go ahead.
And item 5D has been added to the agenda. It's a new item that was not reviewed last week. And that is a contract for rental assistance payments.
There's a typo, I think, on that item. Just can deal with that when we get there, but it's probably a missing 0.
The last change to the agenda was the contract amounts included in the public hearing item.
Okay, there's one public hearing. Okay. Questions for the?
Only other change to today's agenda that we're tracking is a request to include item 3C from the August 6th agenda to today's consent agenda. This is a contract for extended support with Oracle.
Amy, I'm so sorry, but you're coming in and out.
And then Sherry, can you come join us for this item? Quick.
The last change to include on today's agenda is an item from Information Technology. It is a contract with Sierra Cedar for ongoing support for TC Connect. We've received the master service agreement, and so the item is ready to move forward this week.
Commissioners, the reason we're requesting it to be moved from the August 6th agenda to today's agenda is because our support will actually end. And this kind of came up quickly upon us as we were working it through. We have learned pretty recently that ongoing support wasn't part of the original contract, and what that meant to us as far as stepping away from that support in a time where our implementation is still very active and ongoing. And so in the item itself, it talks about this year's and then ongoing. This year's going to be covered by internal costs, to give a quick overview. But our IT director, Sherry, is here to answer any questions.
Okay, so this is a change that hasn't yet been made. It was item 3C under the August 6th agenda, and we're going to propose to move it to item 3 on today's agenda. And are there questions from the board about the item? Move to approve the proposed action is to move to approve a contract with Sierra Cedar for ongoing maintenance and support of Oracle system for an amount not to exceed $384,697 for the term of 29 months, and authorize the IT director to execute amendments that do not exceed 10%. Is there any comments from, or go ahead.
The reason this has not gone out to bid is that it is a continuation of the current contract with Sierra Cedar, and our internal auditor has reviewed it.
Commissioner Edwards?
And what budget will this funding be coming out of?
So the remainder of this year will be paid out of a combination of IT, M&O, and general fund. To the extent that IT, M&O can pay for it, they will, with anything beyond their budget capacity coming from general fund. And then beginning next year, it will be part of the IT rates.
Oh, okay, and just roughly how many dollars out of general fund if we approve this at this point?
We're expecting 30,000 or less will be from the general fund.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. We can make that change. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, so let's get back to item 3A. We have Auditor Mary Hall here. Thank you. Accessible Communities Advisory Committee grant.
So if you recall back several months ago, we got a grant to put a sidewalk from the bus stop to the front door of the voting center. What I didn't realize is there was no railing that was separate. So we really need to have a railing as well. So we went back to the same committee. I was thrilled we got the grant. It took them about 3 meetings to get a quorum to make that decision, but they granted the money and we're just waiting to put it in.
Good job.
So, yeah, so it's a one-time cost, no matching funds, no ongoing costs.
How many members are on that committee?
That's a good question. I will get back to you with that answer.
Okay. Are the spots filled? They're just not, sometimes folks aren't showing up, or is it a matter of unfilled spots? Do you know?
Well, we don't have like a spot requirement or this is how many people need to be on this committee. Is that what you're asking? Or
Well, I mean, sometimes we have people, we have, 9 people, but only 3 are showing up. Other times we have only 4 people that are
I
on the
understand.
committee. We have to go out, we need to really focus on recruitment.
We still need to focus on recruitment, and we're doing that. This year is just insane, so. But next year should slow down, so I'd like to make more of an effort to enlarge that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, any questions for Auditor Hall? Good to go, thank you.
Great.
All right, next up is item 3B. Commissioner's Office item, RFP for Federal Government Affairs Services.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Gelder, Assistant County Manager. And as the board discussed last week, this is just an action to approve the issuance of a request for proposal that would solicit responses for consideration for the award of a Federal Government Affairs Services contract. Fairly tight timeline in trying to get a firm actually selected and a contract negotiated and implemented this fall, so that we can gear ourselves up for the best in the next federal calendar year.
Questions for Rob? Okay, good to go, thank you. Next item, 3C, Department of Commerce Early Learning Facilities Program, Child Care Pre-Design Contract Approval. Jenica Machado, Economic Development Manager.
Thank you. Jenna Machado, Economic Development Manager. As you recall from last week, we have a contract from the Department of Commerce from the Early Learning Facilities Program that is ready for approval to fund a pre-designed study of Building 7. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, we talked about this one last week. Any questions? Nope, good to go. Thank you. Final item on the consent, besides the one we're going to be adding from IT, is Essential Services, sole source purchase for Thurston County Sheriff's Office Motorola radios. Bruce Morbaugh, Fleet Services Manager. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bruce Morbaugh, Acting Central Services Director. This is a request for a sole source purchase for radios for the Sheriff's Office. This is part of the 2024 budget. The purchase has been reviewed by the Internal Auditor and the Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Bruce on the radios? Matching them up with what we already have in our vehicles.
They're mobiles for the vehicles and portables for the deputies.
Okay, so there's no questions there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, department item 1 is 4A, interlocal agreement for reimbursement of involuntary commitment court services. Robin Campbell's listed up.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Robin Campbell, Assistant County Manager. And this morning, I am seeking your approval for a contract with the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Services Organization, or the BHASO. This contract is a reimbursement by the BHO to the county for costs of our involuntary commitment courts. The rates are based on a 3-year rolling average. We'll be coming to you each year to update this contract. And this is an extension of a contract that the board approved last year.
Questions for Robin on this item? Not seeing any? Okay.
Thank you.
Item 5A, Public Health and Social Services, Amendment 21 to the Department of Health CONCON 2022-2024. Dr. Jen Freiheit.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners. Dr. Jen Freiheit, and with the Interim Director for Public Health and Social Services. This is an action to approve amendment number 21 to our consolidated contract. It basically adds statements of work non-binding for the following programs, which are foundational public health services, the Workforce Development Grant under the Office of Resiliency and Health Security, our infectious disease prevention services, and recreational shellfish activities in the amount of $1,920,200. And I can answer any questions.
Anything for Jen? Nope, thank you. 5B, County Program Agreement with Department of Social and Health Services, Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. Mark Moffitt, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Moffitt, Public Health and Social Services. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Missy Liparelli.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your time again this morning. Back to ask that you approve the Department of Social and Health Services Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Program contract for our School to Work contract number 2463-57313. And again, this is to place graduates with developmental disabilities into jobs for the period of July 1, 2024 through 9/30/2025, and happy to answer any questions today.
Questions for Missy on this item? Nope. Okay, good, thank you. Next up, 5C, ILA with Capital Region ESD 113 for the youth tobacco prevention.
Hi, good morning. Alicia Hughes, Population Health Program Manager at Thurston County Public Health and Social Services. As we chatted last week at the board, we're looking to approve the contract with Capital Region ESD 113 for the amount of $85,000 for July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 for youth tobacco, vaping, and cannabis prevention work in Thurston County. Any questions?
Any questions? Madam Clerk, I think we need a Either the is not, should be gone, or there should be like the word program, kind of reads funky on the title of the description for 5C. I think program's missing is my guess. Okay, thank you, Alicia. Next up, 5D, another public health and social services item, contract with grants made simple, and this is one of the added items. Who's presenting this item?
Keely.
Oh, there you go, Keely, you're up.
Hi there. My camera would not turn on. Yes, and Tom is here with me today as well. And so this is a grant, a contract, excuse me, with an agency, a third party, to provide payments for the 24-25 program year of the Eviction Prevention Rent Assistance Program. So simply stated, this entity would be providing just the service of cutting checks and sending out rent payments for individuals that are being served under the Eviction Prevention Rent Assistance Program, specifically single adults at risk of losing their housing served under Partners in Prevention Education. So Grants Made Simple would be partnering with Partners in Prevention Education to ensure that checks are going out in a timely manner.
Questions for Keely? No. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we move past public health, I just wanted to say, while we had Dr. Frey, I went and saw a movie at the movie theater the other day, and there was a public education commercial prior to all the previews from your department on how to properly put babies back to sleep, and I thought that was great. So I just want to say good job. Please share that with your team.
Great, thank you so much. We do enjoy using the movie theater advertisement. It reaches a wide audience.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you, Keely. Next up is Public Works, 6A, resolution for temporary closure of Kellogg Drive Northeast from 72nd Avenue Northeast to 7203 Kellogg Drive Northeast.
Sorry, Commissioner, I have not prepared a video recently.
Yeah, you don't have anything running at the movie theaters?
Not yet. Give us time though. So,
Bridge project.
there you go. It's coming to a theater near you.
Yeah.
Public Works is requesting permission to temporarily close Kellogg Drive from 72nd Avenue to the end of the road. And this is to accommodate a culvert replacement project. This closure would be up to 4 weeks between August 26th and October 31st. The reason why we need to do this is a concrete culvert in this portion of Kellogg Road has completely failed, and the creek is actually no longer flowing through the culvert, it's flowing through the roadbed. Which in the summer months we can get by with that, but come this fall, that's not going to be sustainable and the road would likely be compromised. A detour will be in place. Residents north of the closure will need to follow 76th Avenue and use Kerbau Road. The detour is about a mile and will take residents about three minutes. This section of Kellogg Road has an average daily traffic volume of 112 vehicles per day, and it will affect 7 households. So if that, be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Nope.
Yep.
I'll go work on that video trailer.
Commissioner Edwards?
My only question was, do we have a benefit for salmon enhancement?
Do we have a benefit for
salmon? When we get done, will there be a benefit to the salmon program?
So this is actually not identified by the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife as a fish barrier. But it is right next to the sound, so it could potentially become fish habitat in the future. Right now, obviously, it's completely separated and fish can't get through it all.
Right, but maybe once we get the culvert in, we might be able to, build a credit for a few more stream miles of habitat.
100%.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay, we will have commissioner reports. There will be at 3:30 a public hearing from Public Works regarding a contract with Shredding Systems, Inc. for removal of existing solid waste stationary compactor and purchase and installation of a new stationary compactor. Jeff Bickford, Solid Waste Manager, to remind us about this item.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Bickford, Solid Waste Manager of Public Works. And it's correct, this is a public hearing that's being required by RCW 36.58.090 to hold a public hearing for the procurement, which we went through an RFP process to get proposals on removing of our existing compactor at the Waste and Recovery Center here in Lacey, and then provision and installation of a new compactor. We're asking the board to pass a resolution authorizing Public Works Director to execute a contract for an amount of $2,902,002.71. Willing to answer any other questions.
Any questions for Jeff on the compactor public hearing?
And paid out of tipping fees?
That is correct.
And then the proposal is to have an action follow.
That is correct. An action following the closing of the public hearing. That would be passing, hoping for a motion to approve the resolution that's attached.
Okay. Thank you, Jeff. All right, so next up, an item has come to the attention of the board regarding a need for executive session beyond the one that's scheduled for later in the morning. So we're going to do that now before we jump into the August 6th agenda. This is pursuant to RCW 4230-110-1I to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to agency enforcement actions, or discuss with legal counsel representing the agency litigation or potential litigation to which the agency, governing body, or member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when public knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency. Estimated time?
45 minutes, Chair.
45 minutes. The topic is a personnel issue and commissioner's action may follow. So at this point, we're going to have folks leave the room if they're not prepared for that. I know we have prosecuting representation from the prosecuting attorney's office, prosecutor himself.
Rob, how do we,
HR director, come on up.
how do we get everyone else off of the Zoom?
I just,
right, it's 10:33 a.m. We're picking back up with the item number 2, which is a review of the draft agenda for the meeting of August 6, 2024. You need to be called to order at 2 p.m. Vice Chair Fournier to lead Pledge of Allegiance, approval of agenda, presentation regarding proclamation for Target Zero.
Yes, I am currently working with staff at PAO's office to finalize that draft for you. So we'll send that out this week.
And I have to confess, I did not remember this one, as this has been on our approved agenda since January. Okay, well, I just forgot it. Any questions about the Target Zero item? Okay. Then let's move on to opportunity for public to address board, county manager update. County manager will be back shortly, but I'm sure there's nothing at this juncture. So let's go to item 3A. Oh, and then Madam Clerk, you said there's been a couple of changes.
Yeah, just one additional change. In addition to item 3C moving to today's agenda.
Yep.
Item 3D will be removed and pushed back. Staff is working with legal for some additional support on the item before it's brought to you.
So we're talking about the August 6th. Yeah, so item C we already talked about because it's being moved till today. Item 3D is going to be pushed forward. So that leaves us with two consent items. 3A is Sheriff Lake Lawrence Regatta application. This is an annual item.
It is. We do not have a representative from the sheriff's office here today, but I can take any questions back to them. And they will be here next week.
I know we do this every year, so I doubt there's anything different about it. September 13th through September 15th, Seattle Outboard Association race event, Lake Lawrence. Any questions that you'd like to provide to Amy to follow up on? No. Okay. Then let's look at 3B. Setting a public hearing to consider adopting the special accommodation excise tax ordinance.
Good morning, Jennifer Machado, Economic Development Manager. So currently Thurston County collects a basic or transient 2% lodging tax. In early March 2024, the Thurston County Commissioners provided staff direction to pursue the process required to impose an additional 2% lodging tax. The proposed special accommodation excise tax ordinance imposes an additional lodging tax that is not a credit against the state sales tax like the current basic lodging tax, but it is instead a tax increase to the lodging patron. The combined lodging tax rate would be 4%. County lodging tax revenues must be generally used for tourism promotion, acquisition of tourism-related facilities, or operation of a tourism-related facility. Per RCW requirements, the proposal was submitted to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee, or LTAC, for review and comment. LTAC met on June 24th, 2024, and unanimously supported the additional 2% lodging tax. So the next step in this process is to set a public hearing, and I'm happy to take any questions.
What does the money get used for?
It is generally used for tourism promotion, acquisition of tourism-related facilities, or operation of tourism-related facilities. And so tourism promotion can be marketing, it can be special events. It's annually we come and provide a list of recommended ways to award the lodging tax funds from the LTAC committee, and the board goes through those awards and typically has approved everything we've put forward.
Yeah, if you remember, we went over all the revenue options at the beginning of the year, and this was one of the ones that was one of the opportunities for us. So we took it to the LTAC committee and went over it and talked about it, and the LTAC committee is recommending that we make this move, and then it would just be part of the same process that, but there's lots of opportunities for us to talk about.
How to use the money?
Yeah. And if you remember, there's how many in requests this year came through? Like 300,000 in requests.
Yeah, we had about double. We had about 150,000 available to award and over double in requested funds, so over 300,000 something.
Any other questions? Nope. Okay. Then that would wrap up consent, correct? Okay, then we'll go to item 4A. And 4A and B are new items. These are all new items in a sense, but they're new from a previous draft. Is that what you mean? On the beginning, on the front, it says 4A and 4B are new items.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, so 4A is Commerce Clean Energy Fund Electrification of Transportation Systems Grant Agreement. Rebecca Harvey.
Good morning, Rebecca Harvey, Climate Mitigation Senior Program Manager. So I'm bringing forward two agreements this morning that go together and requesting motions to approve each of these. And these are to accept and manage state grant funds for the installation of EV charging stations at the Southwest Washington Agricultural Business and Innovation Park in Tenino, otherwise known as the Ag Park. Thurston County was awarded a grant of $367,343 through the State Department of Commerce's Electrification of Transportation Systems program. It'll be to install 2 DC fast chargers and 4 level 2 charge ports at the Ag Park. And so the two agreements, the first one is the grant agreement with Commerce. The county will receive the grant funds, manage all grant reporting, and once reimbursed, we'll pass the funds on to the city of Tenino, who is fully responsible for implementing the project. And the second agreement is the interlocal agreement with the city of Tenino that requires Tenino to comply with all terms and conditions in the grant agreement, which will be attached in full as Exhibit A to the ILA. Exhibit B specifies the project and equipment qualifications, and then Exhibit C is a monitoring plan that we put together to mirror the reporting and invoicing requirements in the grant agreement. And the monitoring plan will ensure that the county receives all needed information from Tenino to complete the required quarterly reports to Commerce. And it will allow 45 business days for the county to pay Tenino after receipt of a properly completed invoice from Tenino. And it provides for regular monitoring visits over the course of the project. And I've worked closely with Rebecca Kirby, our contracting and procurement manager, and Rick Thomas, our capital projects planning manager and central services, as well as with Stacy Wyman, our grants manager, on developing these agreements. They've been reviewed and approved by the PAO and financial services, as well as already by City of Tenino's attorney. I'll make one more comment about the partnership is also with Thurston Economic Development Council. If you remember when we first presented this grant application, EDC was going to manage the installation of the chargers, but then that got transferred to Tenino just because the project has proceeded, and City of Tenino, who owns the property, is managing the Ag Park project more now. But EDC will continue to be a partner, and they are actually contributing the required matching funds for the project, which is to construct the EV readiness infrastructure, the conduit and wiring to power the stations. And I will take any questions. Thank you.
Questions, Rebecca?
This is exciting for me. You know, we started working on this while I was mayor, and it'll be fun to see the next step. You know, I do also, the county is, you know, we've already put, I think, 500,000 into the project and a lot of other things. It might be time that we all maybe, I don't know, maybe get some kind of update on where the project is at, and is there an opportunity for the county to maybe like participate in, you know, like the planning and leadership of it? Because I don't hear about it as much anymore, and I'm not as in tune with it, but I think, you know, we have made some pretty big investments in it, so it might be prudent to figure out a way or appoint somebody, maybe, I don't know, maybe appoint a certain commissioner that can be officially involved. I just thought.
Yeah, Jenica too could be kind of connected there and
That was very smooth, Commissioner.
keeping us up.
Yeah, hint, hint.
I'll volunteer you.
I volunteer. Carolina, Mejia.
Can I just clarify one thing? In the written description, it says 2 dual level 2 chargers. So that's where you got the 4. I just wanted to make sure the language.
I just transferred that to be a little more clear when I was describing it.
Okay.
It's 4 ports.
Okay, thank you so much, Rebecca.
All right, thank you.
Let's go to Public Health and Social Services, Interlocal Cooperation Agreement for Home Investment Partnerships Program. Alex Burris, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Alex Burke, Affordable Housing Program Manager. I'm here this morning to ask you to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement between Thurston County, the City of Olympia, and the City of Lacey to participate in and receive funds as a home consortium under the Federal Home Investment Partnership Program for the program years 2025 to 2027, and authorize the Chair of the Board of County Commissioners to execute this agreement. Some background on this item: Thurston County, as an urban county representing all cities and towns except for Olympia and Lacey, is required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development to enter into an interlocal cooperation agreement with the City of Lacey and City of Olympia to form a home consortium in order to receive Federal Home Investment Partnership Act funding. The home program provides funding to eligible affordable housing projects that benefit households making less than 80% AMI. The original interlocal agreement forming our home consortium with the City of Olympia was signed in 2013. The current agreement covers federal program years 2022 to 2024 and is set to expire. The county must renew this agreement for the next 3-year period, covering program years 2025 to 2027 in order to continue receiving home funds. In June, the City of Lacey City Council voted to begin the process of becoming their own CDBG entitlement community. This move would allow them to receive their own annual allocation from HUD and would effectively remove them from our current CDBG consortium. Because of this, they're eligible to join our home consortium now. So now we have a new agreement with the City of Lacey in order to continue using funds on projects within Lacey city limits. The City of Olympia City Council approved and signed the agreement at their July 16th meeting. The City of Lacey City Council will review and sign the agreement at their August 6th meeting, and Thurston County is required to submit our renewal package to HUD by August 16th. Happy to answer any questions on that item.
Questions on this item, 5A? Nope, thank you. Let's go on to 5B, Interlocal Cooperation Agreements and Memorandums of Understanding for Community Development Block Grant Urban County Entitlement Funds.
Yes, so this is similar to the last item, but this is to approve the interlocal cooperation agreements and memorandums of understanding between Thurston County and the town of Bucota and cities of Rainier, Yelm, Tenino, and Tumwater to participate in and receive funds as an urban county entitlement community under the Federal Community Development Block Grant Program. So Thurston County, again, is required by HUD to renew these consortium agreements with each participating jurisdiction. These agreements will allow the county to retain its urban county entitlement status and receive ongoing CDBG funding. And these agreements, like the last, will be for the next 3-year period for program years 2025 to 2027. So the interlocal agreements here outline roles and responsibilities, restrictions, and CDBG program requirements. And the memorandums of understanding outline more specific details regarding the specific governance structure of our CDBG consortium. We also have to provide these documents to HUD by August 16th. So we're requesting to enter into the interlocal cooperation agreement with the town of Bucota and the cities of Rainier, Yelm, Tenino, and Tumwater. In previous renewal periods, we've also signed an agreement with the City of Lacey. However, as I just mentioned, the City of Lacey is now beginning their process of becoming their own entitlement community and will receive a direct allocation of funding from HUD as the same as the City of Olympia is their own entitlement community. CDBG funded programs address multiple initiatives, including affordable housing, public services, and community infrastructure serving low-income populations.
Any questions for Alex? Nope.
Commissioner, if I may, I just wanted to extend thanks to Commissioner Fournier for helping to facilitate a conversation with the respective mayors, et cetera. And thanks to staff for being able to adapt. By the time decisions kind of came down from the City of Lacey, it did not leave us a lot of lead time for being able to work out these agreements for a new rotation and to implement and execute the funds. So kudos to everyone for making it happen.
Yeah, I would agree, Rob. They move quickly. Thank you for keeping us apprised of the changing dynamic. So well done, staff.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Public Works is up next. Contract award for Thompson Creek Road Southeast at Thompson Creek Fish Passage Project CP 63025. Matt Unzelman, County Engineer.
Thank you. Matt Huntsman, Thurston County Engineer. Public Works is requesting permission from the Board of County Commissioners to award the contract for the Thompson Creek Bridge Project on July 10th. A total of 4 bids were received in response to a call for sealed bids. The low responsive bidder was received from Mazzana Construction of Gig Harbor, Washington. Construction costs will be covered using $500,000 from the Brian Abbott Fish Barrier Removal Board, $80,000 from the Salmon Recovery Funding Board, and REAP 2 funding. The current 10-foot diameter culvert will be replaced with a 70-foot prefabricated bridge.
Questions about this item? That's it.
All right, thank you.
Standing items is the commissioner report, and that brings us to the end of August 6th. Let's cover these next standing items, and then we'll jump back to our executive session that was put on recess. So next up is proclamations and awards. Clerk of the board.
Commissioners, the proclamation for the fair is included in your packet. Again, Thomasina and some fair board members accept the proclamation.
Questions about the proclamation? Okay. Advisory boards and commissions.
Received some updates late yesterday that I will bring next week regarding the Veterans Advisory Board and the Law and Justice Council. So we'll have those for your review next week.
Okay, that's right. We're needing citizen groups on the Law and Justice Council. All right, so more to come. Any questions for today?
Can I ask a question on the advisory boards? With the TRL, has a person been notified and have we sent the process out to the other counties? Do you know?
I've submitted the update to Rose at TRL, and Rose will facilitate notifying the other counties and walking through their processes for appointment.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to PIO check-in. Anna, anything?
Anna Rhodes, PIO, no updates at this time.
Any questions for Anna? No, okay. Then we're on to item 6, which is commissioner items. We paused an executive session earlier this morning that was not on the schedule. We're going to resume with that. And then we've got another executive session immediately following. So let me give the advisement for that one because we'll probably go into them back to back. So the first one is just a continuation from the earlier part of the morning, and the second one is the same. I'm not going to read the whole section, but it's similarly related to RCW 4231.10.1I. The topic is juvenile facility intakes. That one is set. So first, let me ask, how long do we want to allocate for the continuation of the earlier session?
Probably 30 minutes.
So we have 30 minutes, and then 30 minutes for this one. So for juvenile facility, will that take 30 minutes, do we think?
I think so, yeah. We can have that discussion in about 30 minutes.
So it's 10:52. We'll come back out, let's just say at 11:50. And then we'll have one other item that will need to be addressed there about City of Lacey annexation. But that will be addressed just prior to noon. So we're going to be in executive session for the next 58 minutes. All right, it's 11:53 a.m. We have completed the 2 executive sessions that we went into just under an hour ago. And so now we're up to item 2, sub 2 of item 6, which is City of Lacey Island Annexation ILA. We have Josh Cummings, Assistant County Manager, Ashley Arai, Interim CPED. You guys are killing me on this. Jeremy Davis, Operations Chief Director, Manager, CPED.
Musical chairs.
And I might add just one more thing in there, since we have this opportunity. Jeremy is in the process of heading towards retirement. So he has ushered this ILA process with Lacey very well up to this point. He will be handing it off over the next couple of weeks and months. So we wanted to provide this opportunity for Jeremy to again provide this timeline, to remind the board of the approvals you provided, and then to make sure that we all know that Jeremy's done a great job, but continuing to embarrass him and say thank you is always appropriate for Jeremy.
Do you need to announce that no formal action was taken during closed session?
Sure. Let me just confirm that no legislative action by the board of any kind was taken with respect to either of the 2 executive sessions that we just emerged from. Thank you.
So the show is Ashley and Jeremy's to go.
I have another meeting kicking off in like 5 minutes.
It'll go quick.
I can go fast.
Yep, I'll just let you go, Jeremy.
All right, so I'm going to take you back. Remember, in January 2024, we were discussing the Dram Road annexation with you. At that time, you directed staff to work with City of Lacey staff on an annexation interlocal agreement to annex the resulting unincorporated county island in that Dram Road area, and there's a map attached, a memorandum. So we've gone ahead and done that and worked with Lacey staff on that. We've also incorporated several unincorporated county islands in their recent Cuyo Park annexation into this ILA as well. City staff has already briefed the city council on this on July 21st, 2023, so just about a week ago. The decision we're looking from you today is just a green light to move forward with the public process on this annexation ILA. Our next step, if you give us the green light today to move forward with this, is to do their 30-day notice to affected jurisdictions. So in this instance, that would include 2 fire districts and 2 transportation benefit districts. After we do that 30-day notification, we would begin the public notification for a scheduled public hearing, tentatively scheduled for October 1st of this year. And that would be a joint public hearing with the City of Lacey. The clerk of the board has already worked out this timing with the City of Lacey City Council, so it's already something that's been calendared, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, so we're ready to go on this if you give us a thumbs up on it, and I'm happy to go into more details if you need me to do so. Yeah.
You'll see this a couple of different times. So.
And you'll see it a few different times from now. I'll come back to you to set the formally set the public hearing for October 1st, and of course we'll return to you for actual approval of the ILA. Right now it's just in draft format, and we believe it's probably ready for public consumption.
Sure, can I? How many islands will be left once we do this?
Actual islands within the City of Lacey UGA, there won't be any actual islands that are fully enclosed by city boundaries. This should get all of those. There are, however, quite a number of peninsulas. Just so you know, the City of Lacey has embarked on a study of their entire UGA to look at different annexations with that, and we're fully cooperating with them and providing information on that.
Okay, thank you.
According to this map, it looks like the areas that would be included are currently UGA.
Yes, sir.
I know, because with that park, there was like a mixture of some non-UGA people.
There was, yeah.
Okay, Commissioner, any other questions for Jeremy? These are consistent with kind of what we've already, okay.
And you see Public Works is in the audience. We've worked in partnership very closely with them to ensure that all of our departments, Public Works and CPED, in coordination with the City of Lacey, we've all been partnering on this process.
Mm-hmm. The coordination between departments has been great.
Appreciate that. And is there any, everything's good on the side of Lacey?
Mm-hmm.
Happy with this
Yes, sir.
proposal? And
Yes, sir. We worked very closely with the City of Lacey staff on it, and the City Council actually took a look at this and gave the City of Lacey staff the thumbs up to move forward with the public process on the 23rd of this last month.
So the City of Lacey gave the thumbs up on the 23rd that we're asking for from the board today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Commissioners, thumbs up? See thumbs. Commissioner Edwards, thumbs up? All right, you got them all. You got them.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
11:58, any burning commissioner item that we need to address before we adjourn? Hearing none, we've come to the end of the agenda and we are adjourned.